This is Toronto. I wasn't born here, but have called it home for much of the past 28 years. A few years ago, I noticed that people don't believe in or respect even the concept of God anymore. So I decided to ask around. Eventually, I met 6 people I could talk to. I gassed up my car and hit the road. This experience changed the way I look at religion, and it changed my life in the process. My name is Sacha. This is Believers. Toronto is one of the most multicultural cities in North America, with 50% of its inhabitants claiming to be foreign-born. As a result, cultural neighborhoods have sprung up all over the city, like Greektown, Chinatown, and Gerrard Street. As you would expect, this also means that there is a smorgasbord of faiths here.
It's sort of like an intersection of religions.
A recent census revealed a religious population consisting of Hindus, Jews, Buddhists, Christians, Muslims, and Sikhs. 17% of respondents reported no religious affiliation whatsoever.
If you're anything like me, you're probably wondering what exactly that means. Now, to find out, we're here at Dundas Square to poll some of the people who are here to do some last-minute Christmas shopping. Can you answer a question for me? One question. I can give you chocolate. Can I speak to you for a second? There she goes. Are you over 18? Yes. Are you actually? No. Would you like to? Can you answer? Wow. All of a sudden, there's nobody here. That's very cold. Excuse me. Can I ask you guys a question and get some chocolate, maybe? And if you partake, you get chocolate. If you're interested in chocolate, if you're a chocolate kind of guy, it's a Toblerone. But you can only get chocolate if you partake, unless you're allergic to nuts. Can you guys answer a question for me? One question, and I could give you some chocolate when we're done.
All right.
I'm just interested to know whether or not you have religious affiliation.
None.
Not really.
Would you
baptized? You're still on paper.
Can you tell me whether or not you have religious affiliation?
I'm a Catholic.
I have one question for you. Do you or don't you have religious affiliation?
I'm not a religious person, but I do have a belief system. I don't believe in Jesus.
Fair enough. What about you?
I believe in God, yeah.
Okay. You don't have to tell me what you believe, but I'm just interested to know if you do or if you don't have any kind of belief system.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Can you tell me whether or not you have religious affiliation?
No.
You don't?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, and you?
Not really.
Not really. You don't have to tell me any of your beliefs if you don't want to, but I'm just interested to know whether or not you have religious affiliation.
0.
None.
Yeah, Christian.
You do?
We're Catholic, Garrett. What are you talking about?
I went to Catholic school, but I'm not.
Would you classify yourself as agnostic or atheist?
Agnostic.
I would say agnostic.
Agnostic. And you?
I kind of go along with like my own morals and put them into my own type of religion. No, I wouldn't say that.
You wouldn't say you're atheist?
No,
You wouldn't say you're agnostic either?
not really. I believe in God.
Definitely a lot of agnostics. Certainly more agnostics than anything else. Still makes me wonder whether or not, what kind of impact that would have on a society. There you go, no problem. You can have another one. You want another one? No? Dick? No, I'm kidding.
Really thankful you guys are doing something like this, you know?
Oh, really?
Not just belief and stuff like that, because, you know, everyone's so f***ed up with what their belief systems and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Appreciate it very much. Yeah, enjoy them and have a good Christmas or Kwanzaa or holiday, whatever you want to say. A very small percentage of the people that we polled today said that they were atheist. A much larger percentage of the people said that they were agnostic. I'm interested to find out what kind of effect that would have on the practice of religion in and around Toronto.
it surprise you if I told you that the vast majority of the people that we polled on the street said that they were agnostic?
I'm not surprised. I think that people are confused about religious belief. Very few of them are willing to declare themselves to be atheists, but agnostic means that they just don't know. It's a challenge to us, to those of us who are involved in organized religion, the fact that people look down so much on organized religion, and I find that very sad, and I find that a failure on our part. Those of us who are promoting organized religion, we are not doing a good job of promoting it in such a way that people will find it to be attractive.
You would see that, when you went on the streets of Toronto, you are taking the broader cross-section of the Canadian society. But if you were to take specific groups of people, I can only speak on behalf of the Muslim community. I can't speak on behalf of the Jewish or Christian communities or Hindu communities or whatever. But I can assure you that if you were to talk to the overwhelming majority of Muslims, the overwhelming majority would say that they believe in God, that they, accept their religion or deen as it is referred to in Islam, even though they may not practice it. Even when they don't practice it, they will never say that, no, we are agnostic or there's no God or I don't care, whatever. I don't think so. You might find a tiny minority, yes, but not the overwhelming majority.
When we were out in the streets sort of interviewing people, we didn't run into very many atheists. I think we ran into maybe one. It was largely agnostics. Is that surprising to you at all?
Was that on a Sunday? Because we atheists don't usually leave the house on Sundays. We don't have to go to church, right? So we just stay home and just bum around.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends. If you look at the stats, about a quarter of the population in Canada are, atheist. And 25 years and younger, it goes up to about 36%. Now, it depends on... So if you were going around the streets of Canada, right, then you may see a different percentage, but I don't know, depends on where you were. In a major city, it's a bit surprising that there's so many agnostics.
People are becoming liberal thinkers. That's a good way to understand something. You could call it atheism or non-atheism. It doesn't really matter to Buddhism. Or it's just a label. But if you're a thinking person, this thinking would lead to liberation one day.
I would say most people are agnostic. They just don't know it. It comes down to the. I think our society is very material. It's quite natural to believe what you can see. So how do you deal with the things that are very real but they can't be seen? Well, you just say, I don't know. You don't have to know the answer to everything, and it's okay to have a too hard pile. You got something you don't know what to do with that, it's in my too hard pile. Some of those things in the very difficult bits of the Old Testament, things that I don't understand. What happened? Well, I want to keep wrestling through that, but for the meantime, it's in my too hard pile. The moment you don't have a too hard pile and you start to try to give the answer to everything, I think you're in worse trouble.
People find the clergy to be hypocritical, self-serving, and within every religious tradition there are clergy people who are hypocritical and self-serving. There are also some of the most wonderful human beings in the clergy of all faiths who are trying to improve this world, just as I'm trying to improve this world.
If you look at the media today, most of the Abrahamic religions have had so much media coverage that are negative, and some of them justifiably. In Christianity, how many sects are there? How many different groups of Christianity there is? Christ is only one, but yet there are so many different variants of people who believe in Christ. So man says, well, why do I need this? I mean, you guys can't even agree on one God. So when someone tells me as a Hindu that we have many gods, I say that's not complicated. Some people have one and they can't agree on it because they have so many different variants of that one.
Right.
So as such, my answer to this is that it is what is prevalent in the world that we live around it that influences us. What is prevalent, there's a lot of negativity about religion. And the major religions that where it has been Islam and Christianity that's been receiving that negative coverage. Whether it's justifiable or not is not for me to say. But the reality of the way the news reports it, and for the ordinary mind that reads it today, without going into in-depth studies of it, will say, hey, religion doesn't seem to work. Like people can say marriage doesn't seem to work also because 55% of them fail in North America.
Right.
But people are still marrying.